Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Real Training Live. You are in the right place. This is the right time. It is Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And again, it is time for this week's episode of Real Training Live. This is Coach James coming at you today, guys, and super excited as I am every single time I get in front of the camera. Excited to deliver information and to deliver motivation because, guys, knowledge by itself is not power. We've talked about this each and every week, so just knowing what to do isn't enough, guys. You need to do what you know. And so my goal every time I get in front of you is to bring you the information. It's to give you the tools, right? Give you the systems, give you the scripts, the words, all the information and knowledge that you need, but it's also to reach through the camera and motivate you guys and push you and encourage you to get out there and do something with what we're talking about here today on Real Training Live. So please, if you would, when you jump on this call or on this class, comment below. Tell me below where you are checking in from. If you are watching this as a rebroadcast, please feel free to do the same thing and make sure you are commenting below, asking questions. Make sure you're liking and please make sure you're sharing. All right? We want to get this out to as many agents across North America as possible and get this information into their hands as well. All right? So, one quick thing as always, I need to check my monitor here and just make sure that I can actually see you guys. Make sure that I know when you're asking questions and you're hitting me with comments. So give me 1 second here. As always, I want to just scroll down and make sure I can see it. There we go. Perfect. So we are set. It is, about 3 or 4 minutes after 1 o'clock. So I know that for a lot of you, you're going to be jumping on this class a little bit late, probably, and that's okay. So we're going to get started anyway. You know, I've already mentioned to you guys my little disclaimer for every single week, which is the reason why I do this, all right? The reason I do this is because I want to make a difference in the real estate industry, okay? I've been doing this for 2 decades. I've been working with agents just like you day in and day out, all right? Whether it's talking at them as an audience from the platform or whether it's working in the trenches in a coaching call, you know, one-on-one, and just helping agents to deal with the reality of what it is they have to deal with to build their business. So the reason I say that is because the stuff that I try to share every time we get together is stuff that I know works, okay? There is so much information out there. I mean, you guys now can go and jump on YouTube. You can go to any number of podcasts or websites or whatever, and man, you are going to get bombarded with information and ideas, and there's just so much out there, and some of it's pretty good, all right? And a lot of it is, frankly, not that good. All right, but I just want to remind you that what I'm bringing to the table every time we get together is stuff that top agents who are doing what you want to do, these are the things they're doing. These are the things they're saying. These are the tools and the systems they're using so you can have that confidence, all right? So I just want to remind you of that as we kick off today. And we're going to talk about a subject that I think is a lot of fun to talk about. I think for a lot of agents, it's a little bit of a mystery. All right, because it involves communicating with and talking with people that you know. And for some agents, that's easy. Man, I know so many agents who love talking to their past clients. And they're on board with their center of influence and like that's their thing. And they're pretty good at it. And then I know a lot of other agents who that's the last thing in the world they want to do is call their past clients and talk to these people again. And so I just, I guess part of my motivation for this call, or excuse me, I keep saying this call, this class today is really just to encourage you in what you can be doing to be more and more effective every time that you get into conversation with people that you know, okay? And again, this could be past clients. It could be people in your set of influence. It could be your people farm, all right? So there are lots of groups of people that you have and should be interacting with on a regular basis, okay? But there's 5 basic things that I wrote down that I believe they need to know if you want to be as effective as possible, okay? So let's be real clear. There are lots of ways to have comfortable calls. There's lots of ways to have fun calls when you're talking to your past clients and your center of influence. But we're not interested in just having comfortable, fun, warm and fuzzy calls. We want effective calls. we want conversations that are going to have the potential to bring referrals. And in addition to that, we want to have conversations that are going to boost your image in the mind of your clients. All right? Because let's be real clear, guys. People are only going to refer people that they believe are going to make them look good. Okay? Now think about what I just said. People are only going to refer other people that they know are going to make them look good. So, for example, if you have, let's say you have an accountant, okay, that you have been using for a long time, and you know they're good, and they do a great job at, prepping your books and getting your taxes filed. And if you've got a friend or a family member that says, hey, I need an accountant to help me. I'm not real happy with who I've been using, or I've been trying to do it myself, and I just want to get a professional involved. You're not going to have any problem referring your accountant, because you know they're going to make you look good. They're going to do a great job. They're going to deliver a great service and a great result. And you're going to feel good about that. But the reality is, if you have a question about the integrity or the knowledge or the ability of your accountant, first of all, you're probably not even going to keep them as your accountant, but you're certainly not going to refer them. Because the last thing you want to do is turn somebody over to a friend or a family member or somebody else, and that person messes up and makes you look bad. So my point is that in everything we do, when it comes to interacting with our database, our past clients, our SOI, we need to continue to convey the image of professionalism and knowledge and success and the ability to help other people, which is in turn going to make them look good. Okay? Because, man, there is nothing better than having somebody come to you and say, oh my gosh, I just got to thank you so much for putting me in touch with this person. Okay? Whether it was, again, an accountant or a dentist or a real estate professional or whatever, if somebody comes to you and says, thank you, I'm so glad that you put me in touch with this person, they've done such a great job, that's going to reflect positively on you. All right? So 5 things, okay, that when you reach out to your people, they need to know. Okay? So the first thing I wrote down is, number 1, they need to know that you're there. Okay? Bottom line, they just need to know that you're there. Okay? So, hey, Jorge, great to have you with us today, man. Welcome from beautiful Miami, Florida, man. I am jealous of you, but it's great to have you on board with us here today. And appreciate you commenting in on your follow-up list. So great job. You keep up the good work. And now, because of what we're going to talk about today, we've got some other people for you to be calling, and that is past clients, SOI, People Farm. And for the rest of you, again, who are going to be tuning in either live or catching this as a rebroadcast, make sure, all right, that you are commenting. Make sure that you are sharing. And if you have questions, again, down below, you need to put your questions in so that I can hit them with you right here while we got you on the call. All right? So again, back to the the topic for today, which is 5 things these people need to know. When you reach out to them, they need to know, number 1, that you're there. All right? So we need to, on a regular basis, remind them simply that you are available, that you're there for them. Okay? In other words, they, in a lot of cases, if too much time goes by, they're going to forget. We know how life gets, guys. So it's your job as the professional, your job as the business owner to remind them that you're available. Okay? So you might call them and you might say, look, the truth is, I just wanted to remind you that I'm here for you. Okay? I just wanted to reach out, say hello, find out how you've been doing, mention a few things that I've been working on in my business this year, and just let you know that I'm available if you happen to need anything. All right. So that sounds simple, right? I mean, that's not a big deal to let somebody know that you're there and you're available, but you'd be surprised how often agents overlook that. I can't tell you how many times I will talk to agents that I'm either coaching or, usually my coaching clients are pretty good on this because we focus on it, but, I'll get talking to a group of agents and, man, so many of them are telling me, I haven't called my past clients in months. I haven't reached out to my database in a long time. I send them these email drip campaigns, right? And the truth is, you and I both know this, if you have paid any attention to analytics, meaning if you look at what actually happens when a mass email goes out and you see how many people did it get to, how many people actually opened it, how many people did something with whatever you had in the email, man, the percentages usually aren't all that encouraging. Okay? A lot of times you're going to get a very small open rate, a very small engagement rate with your emails. So, am I saying don't do emails? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't count on or rely on a regular email to continue to remind the person that you're there. It's your job to call them. All right? So probably 3 to 4 times a year minimum, you need to be reaching out to all your past clients, all your SOI, people in your people farm, and just saying something as simple as, hey, I just wanted you to know I'm there for you. All right? I'm here. I'm available. So tying right into that, what's the second thing on our list that they need to know? They need to know that you care. Okay? So not only are you there, but you care, meaning I want to be a resource. They need to hear that from you. All right? So I can remember back, my gosh, this is probably at least 15 years ago. I remember talking with this one agent that I'd been coaching for a while, and we were actually at an event. I was doing an event, and this agent was up on stage sort of as like a panelist, right? You know, they were kind of sharing their ideas and what they were doing in their business. And, we got on the subject of the database. Okay, and so we started talking about, well, you know, what do you do with your database? How do you stay in touch with your past clients? How do you convey this image of being a resource to them and being available? And I remember he said, look, the first thing I don't do is complicate it. Okay? I simply pick up the phone. I don't, I've got a few thoughts in mind, but I don't overcomplicate it. I just pick up the phone and I reach out to them and I just connect as person to person. I don't build it up into this big thing. I don't make a big deal out of it. I just let them know that I care. And I'm available, and I say, look, is there anything I can help you with? Okay? Do you have any questions for me? Do you need anything at all related to your house? Maybe they are planning to do some work around the property. Okay? Maybe they got some improvements that they want to do. And they might not know exactly who to call. So they should know that they can contact you and that you have a list of preferred vendors, right? Contractors and, whether it's electricians or other people that you can put them in touch with who are going to help them get the job done, okay? So, point is they need to know that. They need to know that if they have questions about interest rates, that you can give them good information. You can connect them with a lender or with somebody that's going to be able to give them the information they need. Okay? Maybe they're having an issue with their assessment or an appraisal on their property and they need to have some help working through that. You are the resource. You are the person. So again, they need to know you're there and they need to know that you care. That they're not just a number. They're not just somebody that represented a commission check to you at some point in the past, but that you have a commitment to an ongoing relationship where you can bring value. Okay? Now think about it, guys. Is it that hard to do? Is it that difficult to reach out to these people and convey these things? And this sounds so simple, but again, you'd be surprised how few agents actually do this on a regular basis. Okay? So if you want to get more referrals, okay, and if I were standing in front of you, I'd say, how many of you guys want to increase your referral income in 2018? And I'm guessing everybody's hand would be in the air. Okay? So if you want to do that, if that is speaking to you, then one of the things you've got to find a way to convey is that you care. Okay? That you're there as a resource. You have lots of areas that you can bring value to them. And, here's a good analogy. I want you guys to think about this for a minute. Now, I've already given you the example of an accountant, okay? And this is tax season right now, okay? So probably most of you have somebody that you're going to that are helping you do your taxes, okay? But if you own a pet, for example, do you have a veterinarian? Do you have, an animal doctor or an animal hospital that you would take your pet to if they got sick? I'm guessing the answer is yes. If you have car trouble, do you have a mechanic right now? Is there somebody that comes to your mind right now that if you had car trouble, you would bring your vehicle to them? And you would trust that they'd give you an honest appraisal of the problem, they'd fix it, they'd do a good job, they'd give you a reasonable rate. Do you guys have somebody like that? I'm guessing the answer is yes. Okay? So if you think about all these areas of your life, okay, you probably have a family doctor. If you have children, you probably have a pediatrician. You have a dentist. Okay, you've got all these things. So here's what I want you to think about. In the minds of all of your past clients, okay, as your customers think about real estate, are you the one that comes to mind? Okay, have you created that brand? Have you created that identity, that association in the minds of your past clients and the people that you know, that when they think of real estate, they think of you? Just like you thought about the mechanic, the veterinarian, the accountant, the pediatrician. You have all these people in your life that represent people of value depending on what the issue is. You need to be that person in the mind of every one of your past clients and everybody in your database. Okay? So hopefully that creates kind of a mental picture of really what we're trying to accomplish when we talk about, reaching out to people and representing something to them, okay? So again, if this makes sense, guys, I appreciate the likes, the thumbs up, the wow faces. Again, the shares are always incredible. Let's get this information out to more and more people. If you guys have any questions, let me just scroll down here real quickly. I want to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Again, hit me up, all right? So appreciate that. Thank you much. So let's look at number 3, all right? We've talked about the first two things that people need to know. All right, so when you're calling, they need to know you're there for them. They need to know that you care about them. And the third thing is that you want to share, okay? You're there, you care, you share, meaning that you want to have the opportunity to impact friends, family members, coworkers, neighbors, etc. Okay? So in other words, this is branching out now beyond just them. Here's the thing. I think so often agents look at their database as individual people that represent the possibility of a future listing or a future sale. What we often forget is the power of referrals. Okay? So I want you to think about something. Unless a person is a hermit, okay? I mean, unless a person is literally living in a cave and never interacts with other people, okay? Every single person in your database, okay? Now think about what I'm going to say. Every person in your database is going to know a minimum of one person a year who's going to buy or sell property, right? Would you guys agree with that? Okay, I'm guessing the answer is yes. You would agree with that. All right, so everybody you know, every past client, everybody in your center of influence represents at a minimum one more referral per year. So if, for example, you have 200 people in your database, okay, that means any one of them could potentially list a property with you, buy a property from you, and they're probably going to know one other person, okay, who will do the same thing. So think about the hundreds of possible transactions a year that you have access to. You have the ability to find out about hundreds of deals a year that could be taking place in your market because of the people you know and the people they know. So in your communication, what is it they need to know? They need to know that you want the opportunity, the privilege, that it would mean a lot to you to be able to help their friends, their family members, their coworkers, their, people that they golf with or bowl with or do whatever with. You want that opportunity to have an impact on those people as well. You want to be a resource, not just to them, but to all the people they know about. Okay? So again, this has to be communicated because you might think to yourself, well, don't they know this already? I mean, I think a lot of times agents make a lot of assumptions that really aren't true. And this happened to me. I can remember still when I, when I was selling real estate, I had this one lady, I'd sold a house for her, and she, I talked to her every once in a while like I was supposed to, right? But I remember driving down the street one day, and right across from her, there was a for sale sign, and it wasn't mine. It didn't have my name on it. And so I remembered calling her up, and I said to her, I can't remember her name right now, but I called her up and I said, hey, I saw that house for sale across the street. Did you just not know? I mean, did they not tell you they were thinking about selling? And she said, oh, James, my gosh, I just didn't think you wanted the business or needed the business. And I said, my gosh, what, are you kidding? Why would you think that? And she said, well, because on your business card it says multi-million dollar producer, I figured you already were making $1 million a year. You probably wouldn't care about a property like that. And I said, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding. Like, this is how they think sometimes, right? They don't get it. They don't understand that you need referrals, that your business is built on referrals, okay? And so we have to communicate that. That's our job. Okay, our job is to let them know, hey, my business depends in part on people just like you remembering me and mentioning me when you know of somebody that's thinking of selling or buying. Because otherwise they might come up with all kinds of crazy conclusions like, every one of you is already earning $1 million a year because it says, $1 million producer, multi-million dollar producer. They don't know what that means. So let's not leave anything to chance, okay? That was a big lesson for me, and it should be a big lesson to you, that we have to go out of our way to say and not assume that we need to communicate this idea of referrals. Okay? So we want them to share us, in a sense, with their friends. The same thing I say to you guys. I say to you, hey man, hit the share button right now. Find 4, 5, 6 other agents that you know and hit the share button and send this video out. Right? Don't just keep this to yourself. Share it. It's the same thing when you talk to your past clients. Same thing when you talk to people in your SOI. Say, hey, look, I just want you to know I would really appreciate the opportunity to be able to help any of your friends, your family members. My goal is to help more and more people every year. And frankly, I know I can make that happen if I can count on people like you that I've done business with in the past to just remember me, right? When somebody mentions they're thinking of selling or buying. So I just want to make sure that's okay with you. And, I got to believe that everybody on your list is going to say, yeah, man, of course. Absolutely. Be happy to. But don't think you can say that once and you're good for like 2 years, okay? You need to remind them. You need to bring this up almost every time you speak to them, okay? So again, what have we talked about so far? We've talked about the fact that they need to know that you're there. You're there for them. You need to become this association in their mind with real estate. Number 2, that you care, that you want to be a resource to them, that you have answers, you have solutions, you have access to people and services and other professionals that you can put them in touch with when they have a need, okay? And they need to know that you want to share. You want to share that with all the people they know, friends, family members, coworkers, okay? So let's look at number 4. In this market especially, you need to put a star next to number 4, which we're about to talk about right now, okay? Because your past clients and your SOI need to know that you need listings, okay? Right or wrong, guys, if you are in any market right now that has an abundance of listings, you are not normal, okay? There are very few markets that I know of where there's an abundance of property for sale. Okay, pretty much every single marketplace right now is down 25, 30, 40, 50% or more in inventory year over year. Okay, so right now, the message to your database is, look, man, I need your help. Okay, in fact, I've said this to several of my clients recently, that when you call your past customers, you got to start right off by saying, look, I'm calling today because I could use a favor. I could use your help with something. Okay, I was hoping to ask you for a favor. You need to get their attention right up front with the fact that you're calling for help. And don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed to say, I need your help with something. Okay, they're going to say, hopefully, well, yeah, sure, James, what do you need? What's going on? In which case, you then let them know about the need. Look, I'm sure you know right now, there are very few properties for sale. We have a lot of buyers right now who are looking to purchase something. They're actively trying to find a property and there's just nothing to show them. Could you do me a favor? Could you think for just a moment, is there anybody at all that you know of who's talking about selling their property at some point this year? Anybody that I could reach out to and try to match up maybe with some of these buyers that I'm working with? Okay, so there's some exact verbiage right there that I gave you. When you call them, bang, hey, this is James from XYZ Realty. I hope you've been doing really well since we spoke last. Hey, listen, frankly, today I was calling hoping to ask a quick favor of you. Do you have a second? Yeah, sure. What's going on? Well, look, you probably know this, but right now we have so many buyers that we are working with as a group. We're trying to find homes to purchase, and there's just nothing out there. You guys have probably noticed this. could I ask you a favor? Well, yeah, okay. Well, look, if you thought about it for just a moment, is there anyone at all that you know of who's been talking about selling their home at some point this year or at some point in the near future? Is there anybody you can think of that maybe I can match up with some of these buyers we have? Okay, so you ask your question and then you just stop. Okay, you stop talking and you let them think. All right, you just give them that space to try to come up with somebody. Now, hopefully you hear the wheels turning, right? You know, they're cranking it out. They're trying to think for you. Hopefully you can sense that they're really giving this some thought. Okay, and most of the time, you know, they're probably going to come back. Excuse me. They're going to say, well, James, I'm sorry, man. I can't think of anybody right now, but I will definitely keep you in mind. And then you can go ahead and say, well, look, I really appreciate you thinking about that. Hey, let me ask you, if I were to give you a quick call next week, you know, maybe give you a chance to ask around at work or maybe check in with some of your friends at church this weekend or whatever, would that be okay with you? You know, could I give you a quick call next week and maybe around the same time? Okay? You can literally start scheduling follow-up calls with your past clients and your SOI to check back a week or so later. But my point, they need to know that you need listings. Okay? It's scriptural, guys. It's that you have not because you ask not. Okay? There is a truth to that. And so often we don't get specific enough. Right? We don't get direct enough and specific enough about what we need. All right? So look, a lot of buyers, very few properties for sale, need your help. Who do you know that's thinking of selling? Could you stop and consider that for a moment? And is it okay if I check back with you next week and maybe see if you've thought of anybody else? Okay? Very simple, very to the point. Even if you don't get a name today on the phone, your phone might go off. You might get a text in 2 weeks that says, hey, just wanted to get back to you. You mentioned to me that you were looking for some people who want to sell. My friend at work just said they're getting transferred. They're going to need to sell and make this move. Here's their information. Give them a call. Okay? Now, this leads into my last point. Okay? Point number 5 about what they need to know. They need to know how to get you referrals. Okay? So just write that down if you're taking notes. They need to know how to actually get you referrals. All right? So we've got them engaged. Okay? They're excited. They're going to help you. They want to help you. They want to see you do well. They believe that you do a great job. So they're going to be out there trying to find opportunities to send you hopefully more listings, but even buyers. But how do they get them to you? How do they make sure that you actually have the opportunity to connect with these people? Is handing your business card out over lunch enough? Hey, here's my agent, give him a call. Is that enough, guys? Is mentioning your name while they're hanging out together somewhere, is that enough? Oh yeah, man, I got this great agent, man, give him a call. That's not enough, guys, and we need to let your past clients know that. Okay? So here's some dialogue, here's some verbiage that you can use to say to them, look, first of all, I really appreciate the fact that you're keeping an eye out for me and that you're willing to, put me in touch with people that might need to sell or buy property. But can I be honest with you? Most of the time, what I found is that when my clients just mention my name or they just hand my card out, that I never hear from those people. They never seem to call for whatever reason. So would you be willing to actually contact me directly? Send me a text. Send me an email. Call me. Send a smoke signal. I don't care. Just get in touch with me and let me know who these people are. Give me their contact info so that I can reach out and introduce myself and see if I can be of help. Would you guys be willing to do that for me? Okay? Here's what we're doing, guys. We are educating them on the process. We're educating them on the fact that real estate and your business specifically depends on referrals. Okay? We're educating them about the fact that they need to think of you as their resource. We're educating them on the fact that you need listings. You need sellers. You need people who need to move so that you can match them up. And now we're educating them on the fact that they can't just mention your name and think that the referral is going to get to you. Okay? So again, guys, is this making sense? All right? Is this making sense? Are you tracking with me? Feel free, right down here below, ask questions, make comments. Again, don't forget to hit the share button and send this out. Okay? If you know of other agents that you interact with, whether they're in your market or halfway across the country, share this with them. All right? Get this information into their hands. But again, this last point, they must be told that just simply mentioning your name isn't enough. Okay, appreciate the thumbs up, guys, very much. They gotta know. Okay, you gotta call me, man. You gotta text me. You gotta get in touch with me and let me know who these people are so that I can reach out and introduce myself, ask them a few questions about their situation, see if I can be of help. And look, I promise I'm not gonna make you look bad. Okay, I'm not gonna be the typical salesperson that harasses and pressures and pounds on them and tries to get them to do something they don't want to do and make you look bad. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. All right, so you may need to reassure your people once in a while that they can trust you, that you're not going to make them look bad. All right? But see, guys, there's 5 things right there. Okay? So I want you to think for just a minute. Okay? Because remember I said to you at the beginning of the call, knowledge by itself is not power. Just knowing these things is not enough. You need to go do something with it. So here's my question. What are you going to do with this? What of the 5, which one or which 2 seem to apply to you the most? Okay, I want you to think about that. And if you want to comment below, that'd be awesome, man. But what are the 1 or 2 points that you feel like you can most benefit from right now? That you can start putting into place, you can put a list of people together, you can reach out to them this week, and you can communicate these thoughts. Okay? You got to get into action, guys. You got to do something with the knowledge that you have. All right? So these 5 things are designed to enhance the conversation, to just create better dialogue, to open their minds to the reality of what goes on with your business, and to engage them, right? To draw them in, to kind of enlist them as a partner of sorts in your business. Okay? Now, look, let's be honest. I know that not everybody on your past client list, not everybody in your SOI really cares. I mean, let's be honest. People, they get self-absorbed, they get caught up in their life, they get busy, they got a lot going on. Not everybody is going to just enthusiastically jump on board, all right? But you know what? What if a bigger percentage did? What if several more people over the next few months really got it and they understood that you're there for them? They remembered you when somebody mentioned real estate and they gave them your name and then they texted you and said, hey, man, get in touch with this person. I think they're going to be interested in selling. Or I think they need to buy a house. If that happens even a few more times than it has already happened in the last 6 to 12 months, guess what? You benefit from that. Okay? So I'm not talking about, achieving perfection. I'm not talking about every single past client you have is going to give you a referral this year, but I'm saying we need to get more. All right? And there's opportunities to get more. We want to shrink that gap between what you're getting and what you're capable of getting. All right? So again, I hope this makes sense, guys. We have spent about half an hour or so digging into these 5 points. We don't need to beat the horse to death. We don't need to belabor it. What I want you to do is commit to either rewatching this, making some notes, sharing it, and then committing to taking action. All right? You guys need to get out there and do something with the information that is being given to you right here at Real Training Live each and every week. All right? So, questions and comments, please feel free to keep them coming. All right? If you think of something later, comment below. You got my contact info. But you know what? It's time to get out there and do the work. All right? So, I will look forward to having all of you back here, right here, 1 o'clock Eastern next Wednesday for Real Training Live as we dig into the next topic. But in the meantime, hope you got some value. Have a great rest of your day. I'll look forward to talking to you again soon, guys. Take care for now.